What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Ira and we do project management on this channel. And if you're one of my lovely subscribers coming back, you know I love y'all. So let's get straight into this video. So in this week's video, we are going to be breaking down the typical roles in a project team, but more importantly, how you as a PM can expect to interact with these different types of people. Now, I just want to highlight that this is just a typical list. You may not see all of these roles on your project team. You might not be assigned all of them. Who's assigned to your project will heavily depend on the project needs, the organization and needs, and what needs to be delivered. Also, the project team members can be assigned at various stages of the project depending on when you need them or if there's a change in scope, etc. So it's really important to stay flexible, but you as a PM should get to know these different roles as soon as possible, so when they do come onto your project, you can set expectation and you can also know exactly what they should be doing and when. Another key thing to remember is that you as a PM do not do the work. Your team will do the work. Your job is to rely on them, to guide them and to keep them accountable for doing exactly what they are placed on your project to do. So let's get into it. To make this video a little bit easier to navigate, I'll be using an example of implementing a new HR system. This will help to illustrate how each role contributes and exactly what you'll need from them on your project. Let's get popping. So first up, and most obviously, you will have the project manager. You are the project manager, you are the captain of the ship. The project manager plans the timeline, manages the risks, assigns tasks, and coordinates everyone to ensure that the job gets done. So on this HR implementation system project, you'll be doing all of that and so much more through all of the stages of the project lifecycle. Your main responsibility is to ensure that everyone stays on track. Everyone is where they need to be when they're meant to be there. And also reporting to your project sponsor or your executives to let them know the progress. Now, mentioning project sponsor, let's talk about them a little bit. The project sponsor provides the vision, funding, and strategic guidance on the project. Now, depending on the organization, they might not be called project sponsor. They might just be a product person. They might just be an exec, but really look for the person that is funding this project, the person that says, I want this project to get done. They tend to be the one that gives the authority for the project to go ahead, and they will take on the project sponsor role. So in our HR system project, they would be responsible for signing off the initial budget and any future budgets that you might need in the future. Say there's extra licenses that you need to run on this platform, they will be responsible for signing that off. If there's a major issue and you might need to change direction in the project, that differs from what was said at the beginning of the project in the charter, they will need to know what's going on as well, and they'll be able to give guidance on whether we want to go in a different direction or stick exactly where we are. I would rely on the project sponsor for when you're in very tricky places. This tends to be when either the scope, the time, the cost, or the quality of the project is about to be detrimentally impacted. You should be notifying them, keeping them updated on your progress, and letting them know if there's any escalations that you need support with. Another role that you might have on your project team would be the BA, and I'm going to couple this up with a product manager. In my experience, I feel like they do similar roles, but a BA does a little bit more in terms of translating requirements into actionable tasks. Both the roles, a BA, business analyst, and a product manager, would be responsible for gathering all of the requirements on a project, i.e., what are the things we need to get done, what are the features we want to deliver in this system, all of those good things there. For our HR system, the business analyst might document current HR processes and also define the workflows that the new system should have in place. As a PM, you will work closely with them to ensure that requirements are defined clearly and communicated to your development teams, so the development teams are crystal clear on what needs to be delivered. And a product manager will also do similar things. You might also be assigned one or several SMEs, subject matter experts. These are simply team members that will provide specialized knowledge. So for example, on this HR system, if there is heavy compliance requirements that most people won't know is a special law or legislation that has been rolled out in a particular country, they will know that in depth and they can advise on that. Or it might be a special process or protocol that has been recently rolled out that only really a small amount of people in the organization know, but you're using it in this HR system. They will also be able to consult on that. As a project manager, you will consult with them to validate solutions and also to fix and solve technical challenges. Next up are my devs and my engineers, my favorite kinds of people. These are your favorite people on the project. Believe me, they are. These are the girls and guys that, in my opinion, do the heavy lifting. They build and configure the initial system. So in the HR project, they'll be the ones building the actual HR system, basically building a solution that meets the requirements. During the main development and delivery phase, these are the guys and girls that you'll be working with daily, assigning tasks, giving priority, tracking progress, making sure that we are working towards a solution that we want to build. And you as a project manager, if you want to do a good job and you want your devs to build the solution on time, this is where you break down any obstacle in their way. Unblock, unblock, unblock. They say they're blocked here. Unblock it. They say that there's not this license. Go and get the license. They say that there's a bug here. Go and find out who's going to fix the bug so that they can build this system. Unblock it for them and your life will be so much easier. Next up, you might have designers or UX specialists working on your project. And these are the guys and girls that are responsible for ensuring the best user experience of that new system that you are implementing. So in this example that we have, the HR system, they'll be looking at how actual users, the employees themselves, will interact with the system. When they go to the HR home screen and they want to go to the payroll section of the system, how many clicks does it take them to get there? Is it intuitive? Is it slow? Is it laggy? Those are the things that the designers and the UX specialists will be looking at fixing and making it as smooth as possible for people to use this system. And I think that's really key, because especially when it comes to implementing new systems, people don't like change whatsoever. They like what's been done, it works, why fix it effectively when it's not broken in their eyes? If they can bring on a new system that makes people's lives easier, it's nicer to look at, they get a better experience, it will help the adoption of that new HR system by miles. So don't sleep on your UX specialists. Make sure that they're doing exactly what they need to do as well. You'll also have QA, quality assurance, or testers on your project, ensuring that the system is working in the way that we want it to work. So once the devs have built it and they say, hey, okay, we had the requirements, we've built it, we think it should be working all right. Now we need to test it to make sure that it actually works, and that's where your QA and your testers come in. So for the HR system, they'll make sure that the payroll calculations are correct and annual leave is calculated correct. Imagine that, right? You have a new automated system and it's scamming you of £50 a month. Your employees won't be happy with that just because you created a new system and the calculation is wrong. We have to verify everything. That's where your QA comes in. They need to make sure that it's working correctly. And then lastly, you will of course have many other stakeholders that feed in to your project. You might not work with them on a daily basis, but you definitely need to keep them in mind. So this could be the finance department, ensuring that when you want to pay suppliers, that the invoice is getting moved on time and it's not just stuck at an approval. It could be procurement. You need a particular piece of hardware for the system guys to do their work. I'm making this up as I go, clearly, but you want to make sure that they know, hey, I need this from you. I need you to go source this bit of hardware so you unblock our project, etc. There are so many different stakeholders that you can come across on your project, so keep them in mind. They might not be part of your immediate project team that you're working with all the time, but they should definitely be considered at all times. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. That's it for this week. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up, and there's so much more to come, so make sure you subscribe. Until next time, see you later.